The fourth horseman, okay. I know we had a panel earlier that we went through Facebook, Apple, and Google, and somebody quickly tweeted, what happened to Zon? Well, here's Zon. What's next for Amazon? What I call the fourth pillar, I'll make the reference clear pretty soon. You should know this, for all of us here, this was the biggest investment miss of our lives. If you had bought Amazon at the IPO, you would be up 51,000%. If you'd bought Amazon when Henry Blodgett told you to, in December of '98, on a split adjusted price of 67 bucks, you'd have had a 10-bagger on your hands. I can't give you that, but I'm going to make a pitch later as to why this could be a trillion market cap name, and so therefore could be a 3-bagger from here. What's next for Amazon? Well, first, what are they doing right now? If you're going to read one thing in technology this year, read the Amazon Jeff Bezos shareholder letter, 4 or 5 pages. I think he wrote it himself. And he talks about his strategy, his thoughts, how he comes through decisions, et cetera. And in there, he said, AWS, Amazon Web Services, Marketplace, and Prime are all examples of bold bets at Amazon that worked, and we're fortunate to have those 3 pillars. And I can assure you we also remain hard at work on finding the fourth. So let's go through these 3 pillars and just see how sustainable they are. I think they're extremely sustainable. This is the growth of the company as a whole. It is so rare that you see companies of this scale, 60 billion in revenue, generating 20% plus growth for 23 of the last 24 quarters. That's not a typo. That's what they've been able to do. And in fact, you started to see a recent re-acceleration in the revenue growth rate. If you peel it back, there's 2 parts of Amazon that everybody knows. There's the retail side of the business. Why is the growth sustainable? There's a rule of 10%. And what I'm saying is that about 10% of all retail sales are online. Here we are 20 years into the commercialization of the internet, and only 10% of retail sales are online. This is kind of reverse of most of the charts that you see. I guess in 2016, this year, okay, 89%, so it's 11% of retail sales are online now, but there are 89% that are offline. That's a 21 trillion market opportunity still to come. And you're seeing that the online penetration rates are actually accelerating. It's a little bit hard to read this slide, but what it shows is that the percentage of offline retail sales that are migrating online has actually been accelerating for a couple of reasons. I think mobile adoption is one of them. Consumer shifts take a long time, but they can really build and accelerate after a while. That's what we're living through now. Things like faster shipping times are also part of this. In e-commerce, as you know, there's Amazon and there's pretty much nobody else. We did our own survey work on this, and just in the US market, you see this dominant position when you ask consumers where they shop online. You know this. One of the reasons is Prime. We think that there are now 100 million Amazon Prime customers worldwide, maybe around 60 million in the US, because we think in the US, Amazon has doubled its penetration, its Prime penetration. In other words, of all the Amazon customers, 3 years ago, only about a quarter were Prime subs. Now it's almost 50%. It's probably a little over that now. And what happens when people become Prime subs is that they spend more. They spend more frequently with Amazon, their satisfaction levels increase, and then their intention to spend increases, and there's more. Every year that Amazon customers, people are in Prime, they become more loyal and they spend more. They build up this loyalty engine, and what this data says is that for each year that they are a Prime customer, Prime cohort year 1, 2, 3, and 4, more spend, more intention to spend, more frequency, more loyalty. Then they layer in this thing called expedited shipping. And we did this study, we've done this 4 years in a row, and we asked people, show of hands, in the survey, who's extremely interested in, very interested in next day shipping, didn't put a price tag next to it. 4 years ago, 43% of respondents in the US said they were interested in it. Now it's 61%. You know why? Why is all of a sudden there's this, not all of a sudden, over 4 years, has interest grown in next day and same day shipping? Because this company out there called Amazon has given it to you, and after a while you notice it. You notice when you get packages 3 days after you order it, and you're not going to use that vendor anymore. You're going to go with the vendor that you know, the retailer that you know, that gets those packages to you next day, same day, and then eventually next hour, same hour. In some cases, that's already happening. Now, that's all the retail side of the business. The cloud side of the business, don't forget, cloud adoption is still very early. We did a survey here, about only 39% or 40% of businesses that we surveyed are even using cloud computing services, or even trying to store their databases up in the cloud. And of those that are using it, a majority, 60% or 59%, had only been using cloud services for less than 3 years. So cloud adoption is extremely early. If there's a 10% rule for retail, it's probably 5%, 5 to 10% for cloud. In other words, only about 5 to 10% of all workloads that could be in the cloud are in the cloud. And if you look at who rules the clouds, you'll see when we did survey work of IT managers, the one name that kept increasing market share response levels in the group was Amazon Web Services, well ahead of things like Google Cloud and Microsoft Azure. Amazon Web Services, AWS, also translates into Amazon Web Success. It's a $12 billion revenue run rate business that's got 25% margins. That means it's generating a lot of cash with which to fund a lot of new growth experiments, and we're going to go through those experiments. So what's the math behind a $1 trillion market opportunity? This is just fun with numbers, and I know there's some financial types in the room who could poke holes in this, but I'll just lay it out for you. If you take that retail business and you continue to grow it for 5 years at 20% year over year, and you take that cloud business and you continue to grow it at 5 years at 40%, and then you put 10% margins on the retail business, 40% margins on AWS, voila. $82 in earnings, you put a 25 PE multiple on that, modest premium to the market, and you get a $2,000 stock price, which would equate to $1 trillion market cap. That's the math. Going forwards now, switching forwards, that's just the core business, by the way. That's if everything goes really well and they keep executing extremely well, that's what the core business could generate. But let's talk about some of the newer areas that they're going into. We did a report recently on the 10 most interesting, most important trends in the internet space today. 7 of these rank extremely well for Amazon. Okay, cloud computing is in there. The term I like, videoification, which Henry I think referred to as social video, is in there. Artificial intelligence and machine learning is in there, and I think this is right now the commercial winner in that space. Amazon is. So Amazon screens really well against these trends, but what's next for Amazon? Again, this is from the shareholder letter, a highly recommended reading in the tech space, where Bezos talks about, where the company talks about the difference between sports and business and the difference between truncated returns, only getting 4 runs if you hit a home run, and business returns where you can get 1,000 to 1 returns if you get investment, lucky on the investment. Big winners pay for so many experiments. So what could be those experiments? We did a report about a month ago, 2 months ago, and we're updating it a little bit here, where we talked about our ideas for Amazon's 4th pillar. So AWS, Prime, Marketplace are the 3 pillars. What's the 4th pillar for Amazon? What are they investing in? We're not going to really know which one of these it is for 5 to 10 years. Here's 7 ideas: payments, business supplies, groceries, online advertising, entertainment, shipping, logistics, and AI VR, not artificial intelligence, virtual reality, but voice recognition. And we looked at all of them in terms of their TAM, total addressable market, how inefficiently served the market is. If it's an efficiently served market, it's probably not one that Amazon's going to spend a lot of time in, or it's probably not, they're not going to be successful at it. And we also screen these categories by whether Amazon had a core competency in those areas. So let me go through each of these quickly. Payments. Earlier today, Gene Munster talked about Apple and Apple Pay being able to disrupt PayPal. Here's some data that came from Channel Advisor. Most popular payment method used by customers after credit card. Of course, PayPal's first, but Apple Pay is way down this list. Look where Amazon Payments is. I think Amazon's ability to disrupt payments is vastly underappreciated. The one challenge here, whether this really becomes a 4th pillar for Amazon, is that it's already a reasonably efficiently served market. But anyway, I think the presence here of Amazon and this pillar is underappreciated. Second potential 4th pillar is Amazon Business Supplies. So they've renamed this a couple of times. There are now 300,000 businesses that are customers of Amazon. Are these household names? No, they're not supposed to be. They're business names. And it's already generating $2 to $3 billion in revenue a year for Amazon. So business supplies, something that involves a lot of ground logistics, seems like a natural 4th pillar for Amazon. Third potential 4th pillar, Amazon Groceries. $700 billion market forward, 3% is penetrated online. Let's think about this. Huge TAM. We all instinctively know how inefficiently served the grocery market is. And then this is something that to get right would require logistics expertise. You put all those 3 together, it's a natural for Amazon. I don't know whether the Amazon Go store works or not. Amazon has the cash flow, the scale, and the size to do lots of experiments to figure out what's going to work well, then they'll accelerate that one. So I think this is a clear 4th pillar. Online advertising is a fourth pillar. We estimate that Amazon generates about $1 billion a year in ad revenue from some basic, sponsored ads that are on the site. We know it's a huge TAM. The issue for Amazon as to whether this is a pillar, I don't think it is that there's already some really well-run large companies, Facebook and Google, that are very good at serving the needs of marketers and consumers. And there's also potential conflicts for Amazon as a commerce company. Okay, the next potential pillar, Bezos mentioned this at an industry conference in the middle of this year, and he said entertainment actually could be a fourth pillar. I, like some other people, was scratching my head on this. When we ran surveys, what we found on the left side is that access to unlimited instant streaming video was actually a key reason why people signed up for Amazon Prime. So they could actually use video as a customer acquisition and a customer retention tool, and a customer activation tool on the right. The quote from Jeff was that when we win a Golden Globe, it helps us sell more shoes. Man, that's a very hard thing to prove externally, but I assume they've got the data internally to back that up. And there's a real OS moment in here. There's a real oh shit moment in here. And I was talking with Dave Morgan about this earlier. He gave me the idea, which is that, wait a second, if Amazon can use video, this could be massively disruptive and negative for a lot of traditional media companies and advertisers. And the reason is that if we're moving away from prime time towards Prime, this Amazon Prime, and people are watching video and entertaining themselves this way, the ad opportunities are moving away from prime time, and the marketers now have to go, not only the product companies, but now the marketers have to go to one platform, that's Amazon. Next pillar potential is what I call shipping and logistics. Amazon within 3 years is going to be shipping just as much package volume as FedEx in the US. In 7 years, just as much package volume as UPS. They've denied that they want to get into the shipping and logistics business in terms of selling it. But I think it's almost inevitable. I think you'll have something called Amazon Shipping Services. There's Amazon Web Services with a great acronym. I'm not sure the acronym works as well with Amazon Shipping Services. And then you can think about how this could be moved into different types of services. So you could have really, sophisticated, really smart, high-end, smart ASS services. And then you could have the kind of the introductory, dumbed-down version, the dumb ASS services. I really enjoyed putting that thought together. Anyway, I think this is a no-brainer. I'm absolutely convinced Amazon's going to be, in 5 years, 10 years, is going to be a major vendor of shipping services and logistics services. And the final one is AI, ML, artificial intelligence, machine learning, voice recognition. This, we did a survey, 26% of people who own these devices use them to purchase more products from Amazon. This is Amazon's foray. It's the Trojan horse, not so much into the living room, but into the kitchen, into the pantry. This is a huge win for them. I think this is the biggest selling product this holiday season. I think you'd probably agree with me. So I'll just wrap it up here. What's the future like for Amazon? Well, there's a couple of different paths here. Business supplies, groceries, shipping, logistics, AI, and VR. Summing it all up, they've been winning in retail. They're practically created cloud computing, and they're winning there. I think those two by themselves may be able to support a $1 trillion market cap, which would be a triple from here. I can't give you Blodgett-like returns, but triple's pretty good. They may not have only one fourth pillar, but they may have several, and watch these particular areas: business supplies, groceries, shipping and logistics, and video and Alexa. That's it. Henry.
All right.